welcome to the UK Thrashers radio show. Slightly different this week. Instead of a band, we've got a record shop to interview. So John will be interviewing Black City Records a little bit later in this episode. But first up, some international thrash from their brand new album, Newsfeed. This is Belgium's Primal Creation and Watch It Burn. Okay, back to the UK now. We are going to listen to a band that are supporting the fabulous Acid Rain in their Underworld show a little bit later this year. This is Bangover and Blood of Brakus.
Useless fuck, pathetic cunt, a total waste of breath. Through the world a moral deed, gifted with its death. Lacerate, tear limb from limb, mutilate, sever the skin. Homicide, a cause that is just. Bring me the blood of Brakus. A constant stream of ignorance eternally does flow. Of his future massacre, he surely now must know. Right his wrongs and putrid mess upon his righteous kill. Redemption of the violent kind, his blood's deserving spill. Lacerate, tear limb from limb, mutilate, sever the skin. Homicide, a cause that is just. Bring me the blood of Brakus. Influence so drives insane. Only solution is desperate pain. Blood of Brakus, blood of Brakus, blood of Brakus, blood of Brakus. Exaggerates its sense of self, importance wounds us all. Fantasies race through my mind, to tales of pain and gore. A future we work to achieve, a world in which he's dead. Now grant my violent levity, bring me his head. Lacerate, tear limb from limb, mutilate, sever the skin. Homicide, a cause that is just. Bring me the blood of Brakus.
Yep, Blood of Brakus from our mates Bangover. Really looking forward to catching them live again with Acid Rain late this year. Okay, next up is our interview. Over to John.
Not so long ago, Bristol was firmly not on the metal map. It was slim pickings for us fans, and to get decent gigs or decent shops or pubs, we needed to go to London, the Midlands, or even further afield. But something has happened in the last few years, and Bristol has seen an explosion of metal bands, venues, pubs and community. Black City Records is a new metal record shop in Trenchard Street, just a beer can's throw from the Griffin pub and the Hatchet Inn. Open for just over a week, I caught up with owner Dave to find out why he has set this up and what the response has been like. Second weekend, I mean, how's it going generally? All right?
It's gone really well. I mean, the opening has been absolutely fantastic. We couldn't have really wished for anything more, to be honest. We're both seasoned in the metal scene and know how good a crowd it is and how loyal they are to their music and to each other. So I knew they'd turn out, but probably not quite in the numbers that they did. And it was amazing. It was touching, to be honest.
Yeah. Okay. I mean, do you want to just give yourself an introduction? Tell me who's involved in setting up the shop and who the main players are.
Okay. Well, I'm David, and I started the shop last year with my partner Anna. She's a silent partner in the business, but so it's all basically run by myself, and I'm the face that you see when you walk in the door. And we set it up. The idea came around end of June last year, and I'd been on furlough for quite a long time from my job.
Yeah. Okay.
Was called back, and I was literally back there for a day after having 3 or 4 months off work, and it just absolutely crushed me. And I just thought, I can't do this anymore. This is not what life is about. And so I came home. Pubs were open then, and we went to the pub and we sat in the pub and we had a drink. And I was explaining my how I felt about going back to work, and so she said to me, like, well, what do you want to do? What would your ideal job be? And I said, well, it's always been, as you know, to open a record shop. So she was like, well, do it.
That's all you need, a supportive partner, and you're halfway there, aren't you?
Yeah, so like just do it. And we had some savings put aside, and so we took that and decided to run with it. And when because we've only been in Bristol about 4 years.
Okay.
We moved over from the home counties, so whenever we'd go out for the evening or go to a gig or go shopping, it'd be into London. So when we moved over here, it was great. The music scene was fantastic. The gig scene was great. All of the bands of a certain size that we were going to go, that we were going to see, of sort of 500-600 people, they were all passing through Bristol anyway. So it just made sense to move out this way. When I got here, having been a lifelong record collector myself, realised that Bristol had loads of record shops, loads of great record shops, and there was generic shops, and then there was specialist shops for dance music and reggae and punk, but there was just nowhere to buy metal. And what shops there were, their metal selection was
pushed in a corner somewhere.
Yeah, pushed in a corner, and almost felt like it was there because they had to put it there. And there was no care and attention given to what they were stocking or anything like that. So knowing that Bristol had quite a metal scene, just thought this has got to be a goer. It's got to be.
I mean, it hasn't always been that way. I mean, for years, Bristol, I thought it wasn't, metal was never its kind of core thing. It's not like Sheffield or Birmingham or London or somewhere like that, really. But it certainly seems to have really blossomed in the last 5 years, probably.
Yeah, I've heard that from different people, saying that about 7, 8, 9 years ago, it was a bit of a barren wasteland from that.
I can certainly qualify that statement.
It's strange because when we got the shop up and running, I decided to sell my dusty old copies of Terrorizer and Metal Hammer and whatnot, and I'd dig them out from years ago and look in the back, and no one was playing here at all.
No, it's strange. Well, we've never really, I live in Munich now, but I mean, we don't really have the sort of venues really, or we didn't have, so you had the Colston Hall and stuff, I suppose, the Hippodrome occasionally, But yeah, other than all and then the beer keller's gone. Obviously, lots of bands used to come to the beer keller.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, so it comes and goes. But there is you've got the Exchange and the Fleece, which are good venues and stuff. So yeah, it seems to be lots of, and like the Bloodstock Metal to the Masses stuff and things like that. It seems to have suddenly sort of exploded really in Bristol, which is brilliant.
Yeah, it's really good, and we're based literally 100 meters away from the Griffin.
I know exactly where you are. You're right at the back of the Colston Hall. Yeah. Or the Hippodrome, is it? I can't remember which one it is.
It's the Colston, yeah.
Colston, yeah. Just on that. You're that shop on the corner, aren't you? You got the steep sort of cobbled street up to your.
That's right.
Yeah. God, I remember it used to be a sandwich shop years ago.
Yeah, it was. We took it over from a porridge cafe.
Well, like you do.
Yeah, it was.
I don't even know what that is.
It was a cafe that literally just sold porridge.
Oh, right. It does what it says on the tin, yeah?
Yeah, different kinds of porridge, probably for about £15 a bowl, you know?
Yeah, that's Bristol, wasn't it? So, yeah. I mean, how did you get on with sort of getting the lease and stuff? It sounds like you've done it quite quickly. I mean, was the lease easy to sort out and stuff?
No, well, it seemed to take forever.
Yeah.
So yeah, we had the idea in late June. We saw the property early July, and then put an offer in straight away on it, with the original intention of opening on Halloween.
Well, of course.
Which would have been fantastic. Kind of glad it didn't happen now because everything shut down a week later.
Yeah, yes, that's true.
So it was kind of just dilly-dallying with solicitors for a while, and then it finally came through. The lease finally came through in February.
Okay, so you can actually get access to the premises and paint it black by the looks of it.
Yeah, we've gone with black and green.
Okay,
which was I always so Black City's named after a voivod.
I saw that on the website when I was doing my extensive research earlier. Yes.
They're always one of my favourite bands. I always liked the colour scheme on Killing Technology.
Oh yeah.
Is the black with the green logo. So I thought I want to try and replicate that green as much as possible because it's not a massive shop, and I didn't want to get it completely black because it would just make it look completely tiny. That'd be slightly oppressive, wouldn't it? Yeah. So the wall behind me here is green, but the rest of it is a nice shade of black.
Okay, so I mean, how have you gone about? I mean, were you in retail before?
No.
So it's been a real steep learning curve then, yeah.
Massive, yeah. Absolutely massive.
Out your comfort zone.
In marketing, so I worked in marketing for years and years and years. And but had a sideline probably around about 10 years ago of selling secondhand records and doing record fairs and selling on Discogs and stuff like that, and actually had a business set up back then, but it just kind of lost momentum and it lost its direction really. So getting a chance to do it again and do it properly in an establishment was.
Yeah. So, I mean, obviously this brings on to the next kind of thing. I mean, is it mainly vinyl you're selling with some CDs and other stuff? I mean, what's the kind of split?
Yeah, we've got probably around about 1,000 different vinyl titles.
Okay.
And probably, I'd say we're stocking probably about 300 to 400 different CDs.
Okay.
And then we've got cassettes as well.
Yeah, see, I can't believe cassettes have made a comeback. That's just so weird.
They were what I used to collect when I was growing up. I was explaining this to somebody earlier. It's so whenever something would come out, I'd always buy the cassette because you didn't have a phone or an iPod back then. You had your Walkman.
Oh yes, Sony Walkman or whatever. Yeah.
I always used to buy cassettes, so I love them. And there's certain genres where they're really sort of starting to come back. A lot of the black metal stuff's put out now on cassette, and some of the more weird esoteric stuff.
Yeah.
But aside from that, we do DVDs, books, and magazines, and
t-shirts and stuff, and merch.
T-shirts, we've got loads and loads of t-shirts, patches, badges, studs, belts. The whole. Yeah, come and kit yourself out.
You don't need to go anywhere else.
Yeah.
It sounds phenomenal. So I mean, in terms of, are you stocking? What would you say? I mean, you sounds like you're stocking some fairly, like you say, esoteric stuff and more obscure stuff. But are you stocking sort of, so you got the Candlemass album behind you. Are you stocking more sort of mainstream stuff, I should say, or?
Yeah, I mean, well, back when I got into metal,
Yeah.
you had this umbrella term, and then you had a few little branches that trickled off of it, being like glam and like traditional metal, and then thrash, and then out of thrash you had death and black metal and all of this. So, and that's the route that I went down, and so yeah, we're stocking a lot of thrash and a lot of death metal, black metal, doom metal, and just trying to become a place where people can find something new. But at the same time, there's always going to be that kid that hasn't got and wants to own Master of Puppets.
Yeah. Yes.
And seventh son of a seventh son. So yeah, we're stocking Maiden and Metallica. I was playing Saxon this morning when I first got in. So yeah, a lot of those classic bands, Dio and Sabbath, and
it really is the whole metal kind of metal gamut, but basically the whole thing. Then really,
the whole umbrella really, and that's been a challenge actually, trying to please every sort of little different facet to the crowd.
So how are you sort of stocking and stuff? Are you going to sort of distributors and stuff and getting stuff in like that? You've had to set up all those relationships, or?
Yeah, I mean, primarily we're working through, some of the main distributors, which all record shops do. And we're dealing with a couple of labels, independent labels, and getting some stuff from different small distribution places in places like France and Germany.
Okay, yeah.
And then also working with bands themselves. So we've had quite a lot of bands contact us, because I always wanted to try and promote the underground and feel like I was actually doing something for the scene. So yeah, just giving bands a chance to have their products mixed among these classic bands and see it there on a shelf and.
Yeah, I think some of our CDs are on their way to as we speak, actually. So that's quite cool.
Awesome. Right.
So yeah, I mean. So basically, you really are supporting. I mean, I get the fact. So with the Griffin around the corner, and you got the Hatchet and stuff. I mean, there's a lot of bands in Bristol. So it sounds like you're stocking stuff and supporting the community and stuff. And it sounds like you've had a lot of support coming back the other way as well.
Yeah, and it's without trying to without sounding a little bit wet about it all, but that's the way the metal community's always been. We always look out for each other and we take care of each other. We love each other and we support each other. So yeah.
Yeah, no, it's brilliant. I mean, how have you found? Obviously, everyone's found stuff difficult in the pandemic, but I mean, that must have been. You obviously went in with your eyes open. You're in the pandemic when you decide to actually do this, yeah.
Yeah, and seeing a lot of businesses fall and go by the wayside was a bit of a worry, and it was a gamble to do it, but. I suppose in the back of my mind, I always had, we're in this bad time for the economy and retail, so things can literally only get better.
Yeah, I suppose if you start at a very low point and you can make it work, then then in theory you're going to be fine, aren't you?
Yeah, exactly that. But there was always that little belief that that the metal community would come out and make this happen, and they have, and it's down to them really that it's had the sort of explosive start that it has.
Well, yeah, I just think you've hit a nice curve where actually the metal scene in Bristol is picking up nicely. You're in a perfect position there, aren't you? You're not too far out in the sticks.
No.
I mean, Bristol isn't that big anyway, is it? But yeah, that's really cool. So what about yourself then? What's your, obviously metal, but what are your sort of favourite bands? What are your, what bands do you put on the front of the rack because you love them?
Well, I try and mix it up every day, really, just to keep the place looking a bit fresh. But my favourite band has always been Slayer. And Rain and Blood has always been my absolute favourite album.
Can't say fairer than that, can we?
I just won't hear a bad word said about it. It's just perfect. And so yeah, just my favourite bands, yeah, probably from that whole sort of late 80s, early 90s era. So Slayer and Voivod and Obituary and people out Sepultura, early Sepultura. Not Sepultura Mark II.
So there's a cut-off point. Yeah, I understand. So what about the sort of future and stuff? I mean, obviously you've got the Griffin just down the road and so a really good Bristol community of metal and stuff. Do you see yourself doing sort of promotions and anything like that, or spread your fingers out a little bit?
Yeah, I'm not sure really. I mean, it'd be good to sort of get involved with the Griff. They've been amazingly supportive throughout the whole process of setting up. And John, the landlord there, was the first person I ever spoke to about it when I sort of went to him and said, look, I've had this really crazy idea about
please talk me out of it.
about the porridge shop down the road. But yeah, it'd be nice to do some sort of cross-promotional stuff with them, maybe put on the odd show and things like that in future. But yeah, it's just kind of...
It's early days, isn't it?
Time at the moment, yeah.
Yeah. Oh, that's amazing. So in terms of visiting and stuff, I mean, when's the busiest time? Obviously the weekends, I guess, really, but you're open until sort of 7:00, aren't you, most evenings?
Yeah, so we're open at the moment Tuesday to Saturday. And we're open Tuesday to Friday from midday till 7, and then on a Saturday from 10 a.m. till 7. And we thought we'd stay open till 7 because of the location with the Griffin, and hopefully when things get back to normal, you kind of catch that crossover crowd with people going out to a gig or to the pub, or people coming home from work and stuff like that. So.
Yeah, I guess you're trying to. I guess you'd always tweak those hours, couldn't you? Whenever if you ever need to, you're pretty flexible. So it really is just you and your partner Anna just working there, yeah.
Yeah, just two of us.
Keep the overheads down.
Yeah, well, we've got some bills to pay off.
Yes. So when you get home, do you put some music on, or you just think, I'll just watch telly?
Well, do you know what? Right, because I barely watched TV in the past, and. I'd always get home from work and stick music on, but I'm listening to sort of all sorts of stuff for like 8 hours a day now, and I do solidly. And I got in the other night, and it was like I'm going to crack a beer, and I fancy listening to some music, but I just don't want to hear a guitar.
Yeah, that is the only danger with turning your passion and your hobby into your job, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's like, I'm doing what I love all day. I don't want to do it in the evenings anymore.
It's nuts. It's
a nice problem to have. Yeah.
Oh, it's a wonderful problem to have.
Yeah.
Wonderful.
Okay. And in terms of, I mean, are you doing sort of secondhand stuff, or is it all new stuff? I mean, presumably it's all new, is it, I guess, at the moment?
It's primarily all new at the moment. We've got quite a little batch of secondhand CDs mainly in here. The thing with metal vinyl is it's so difficult to come across secondhand, at a good price that you can sell it back on for from a business perspective, because people know what they've got, they look after it, they cherish it, and if an album is listed for 50 quid on Discogs or eBay, they're not going to want to sell it for half the price.
No.
As things start to crop up, then we'll start to buy them in. Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. So, other questions I've got written down here. So, secondhand stuff, we dealt with that. Links to other stuff. Busiest time of day. Yeah, we've done all the questions really now. We just sort of rattle through that. I mean, you got any funny stories from week one? Any disasters or anything stupid happened? There must have been something, surely.
Oh God, I'm trying to think. Do you know what? I think it's actually all quite boring, to be fair. It's like,
oh, okay.
Yeah, it's just like an average kind of record shop. Or there's, I always, the film High Fidelity.
Yes, yeah.
I honestly thought that. So I had this dream that the record shop would be like a cross between High Fidelity and. Do you remember the TV show Black Books?
Yeah, I've heard of it. I don't know it, but I've heard of it.
the semi-alcoholic bookshop owner, and they're drinking wine at 10 a.m. in the morning.
Yeah, that's a TV show, yeah.
It's nothing like that at all. It's bloody hard work.
Oh yeah, I can imagine. Yeah. I mean, so if bands want to say have just got a CD out or something and they want to come and see you, are you taking stuff from bands at the moment? Is that, have you got space? Yeah. You got a room to do that?
Yeah, I mean, we've had a big rush of them recently. So I've got a lot of stuff behind the counter there from certainly a few local bands that I'd really like to promote. There's a band called Blaspheme, who are a black metal band, and a cracking death metal band called Dies Holocaustum.
Oh yeah, I've seen their name on posters and stuff, I think. Yeah.
Really, really good. And so yeah, I'd like to, just try and get stuff up and out for people if possible. But yeah, I think we're gonna get to the point quite soon where we have to put the brakes on it a bit because we've been inundated with stuff.
Well, yeah, because there's nowhere else you can do this in well, I know of anyway. Really, it's all through Bandcamp or
I mean,
stuff like that.
A few people have said that they've dealt with Rough Trade, who are in Bristol now as well.
Oh yes, they are. Yes, yeah.
And it's just quite a process of red tape, and they get around to dealing with it in 3 or 4 weeks. Whereas if somebody comes in, if I don't get it out of my brain, then I will forget about it. So I generally get it sorted, listed, priced up, and on the shelf, within a couple of minutes, hopefully. So
yeah. I guess the whole online thing, obviously that's exploded in the last, sort of 10 years or so. But I mean, are you doing mail order as well?
Yeah, we're doing mail order. So we've got a website and we've got a shop on there. So anything actually not everything in the physical shop is on the online store, but there's a massive chunk on there. So, but yeah, we've been getting orders from Greece, America, Austria, Germany, all sorts of weird and wonderful places.
So not only are you running a physical shop, you're also running an online store as well.
Yeah.
I'm surprised you find time to sleep, to be honest.
It's been a challenge lately.
Yeah. And then you've got a marketing background, but I mean, there's the whole marketing aspect of it as well, isn't it? Keeping it in people's consciousness,
Yeah, this is the thing, and it's just keeping people engaged, So if somebody sends you a message, they want to hear from you. It's like
it's the digital age, isn't it? We expect an instant response, right now. I don't want to wait till tomorrow or half an hour.
I know. I mean, that's why when I first spoke to you, I was like, just give me a week and I'll come back.
Yeah. As I thought, I'm just terrible time to bother you. But I thought, well, let's strike whilst the iron's hot, and I'll speak to you in a week's time.
No, so yeah, we try and reply to everyone, and if someone's had the decency to try and connect with you, then it's only decent to reply.
Yeah, I think it's fine. And a lot of shops and stuff, big corporates and stuff, you don't get that at all, do you? It's just the way a business expands, a business grows, and you lose that personal touch, don't you?
Yeah, completely. And that's another good thing with having a specialist shop, certainly around metal in Bristol, is the best place to buy metal until we opened was HMV, and
yeah.
They're getting their stuff put on their shelves by some guy in an office in London who's just looking at sales figures and commission rates and stuff like that. What you generally find is people want to have a chat about the band that they're buying, or they're looking for a recommendation for something, or and you just don't get that in a big shop. So
is there anything else you wanted to say, or promote the shop, or
just literally thanks to everybody, be it bands, friends, family, and just especially what is the greatest subculture and community on the face of the earth, which is the metal community, who without them, none of this could have happened, and I love them all so much.
Yeah, I mean, those pictures on Facebook of the first day with the queue around the block, that must have been, pretty heartwarming to see that.
It was terrifying. It was absolutely terrifying.
Well, you knew you had the stuff they wanted. I mean, it can't have been that much of a,
Oh, mate,
a leap.
we opened at 10 a.m. and we got down here at 9. And we drove down the hill, and it's like, oh shit, I could see people at the bottom of the hill. It's like, there's a queue. So we got there, and there was only about a queue of about 6 people. And the guys at the front of the queue had been sat there since 5:30.
Oh, bloody hell.
And so it was like, okay. So I came in, started to get the shop all sort of ready, had all the blinds down. And I knew one of the guys in the queue, and he messaged me to say, oh, there's 20 now. And then there was 25, and then there was 30. And it's...
How many people currently can you have in the shop at one time?
5.
Right. Strict rota system. They weren't all waiting for porridge then?
No. So and then so we had this queue outside. We had a queue of people from the minute we opened until probably about 5 p.m. There was just a constant queue, and it was absolutely amazing. So we bought a massive ton of beer, and we made sure that everybody had a beer in the queue that wanted a beer. And
that's nice. Yeah.
It was just a great day. And the sun was out. It was brilliant, but it was absolutely terrifying.
Yeah.
Because I say we are the greatest community on the earth, but we're all a little tiny bit elitist, aren't we?
Of course, yeah, of course. Well, look, I mean, if you can set up a shop in a pandemic, make it work, then the only way is up from there, isn't it? Really?
Yeah. I mean, my biggest fear was, seasoned metalheads walking in here, walking out, and going, oh, "That was a bit crap, wasn't it?"
Yeah, you'd be like so deflated, wouldn't you?
You never see them again. But no, everyone's words have been fantastic, and their return visits have proved that we must be doing something half right at least.
Yes, UK Thrashers, this is Chris from Trapped in Purgatory, and you're listening to the UK Thrashers radio show. Get in the pit!
Great to see physical media isn't dead and a record shop making a welcome comeback. If you're ever in Bristol, make sure you head over to see them. As I said, only a beer can's throw away from the Griffin, so head in there for a beer or 6 as well. Next up, this is Overpower and Poison.
I am the angel of death. The time of purification is at hand.
Okay, and that about wraps things up for this short and sweet episode. We're going to play you out with a band called Goliath, and this is their latest track, Under the Glass. See you next time.
conscience always burns. You give me full of stern. The beginning of the year. You say that don't come first. A decision you install.